Hello everybody and welcome to your video on tapping. I am so excited to give this practice to you. Tapping for me is something that really was able to help me to move through a lot of emotional baggage that I had been carrying for, essentially my entire life. And when I hit my healing journey, it was such a quick way for me to feel a change right then and there. I think, I know nowadays we want instant gratification, okay? The healing journey is not necessarily that. Can be a really long journey. I think it varies from person to person, but essentially tapping, it gets you out of your mind and into your body, okay? And sometimes that's all we need to be able to give our mind enough of a pause in order to move past the emotion that's taking over. Okay. Tapping is meant to normally be done when you are really feeling at the height of your emotion. Okay. Now, this particular video is going to be on anxiety because anxiety is one of the, if not the most common, next to depression, mental health ailment that we as humans deal with. Okay. I have had it. Essentially, everybody in my family has had it. And with that, I've actually seen how it affects everybody in my home and everybody around me when I am having a terrible day of anxiety. Okay. So to have a way to take myself from here to here is essentially priceless in so many different ways, okay? Because you're able to use it in the moment. You can feel like you wake up and you're just like, oh my God, like, what is this? Sometimes there's a trigger. Sometimes it's just there, okay? And so when that happens, I want to provide you with this tapping routine that you can use in the moment, okay? So this is going to be very simple because I want you to be able to take this practice with you. I do not want to overcomplicate. I want to keep it simple. So with that, the tapping points. If you have never tapped, okay, there are specific meridian points on your body, and we are going to be tapping those points. And as you're tapping these points, okay, it's releasing energy that is feeling trapped in there, okay? So anyway, we will start with our karate point, which is just that side of your hand, and it doesn't matter which side, okay? It does not matter which side. You may use either side, okay? 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3, it does not make a difference. Whatever you feel comfortable with, I usually use 2. Okay, so we're going to start with our karate point. And then we're going to move to the top of our head. Okay, and kind of feel, it's a little sensitive right in there, but right towards the crown of your head. Okay, the inside corner of your eyebrow, right in there. You'll feel kind of a sensitive point in there. The outside corner of your eye. That real soft, right where you feel that bone under your eye. Okay. Now we're not tapping hard enough to bruise, but hard enough to be able to feel that. Okay. Under the nose, under your chin, and then you're going to move down to your collarbone. So you're going to go right above that dip in the middle there. You can do both sides. You can do one side. You can use your whole hand and tap both sides. Okay. But it's right above. Okay. Right above that dip. And then you are going to go under your arm, okay? So it's essentially like right there's my arm, right where my armpit is. Okay, you're going to go kind of two finger widths down, okay? It's a very sensitive area right there. And so for women, it's right around your bra line there. For men, just go 2 inches below, right kind of behind your armpit there. All right. Okay, and then from there, we're going to move to the fingers, starting at your pinky, and you can use 2 fingers to tap the bottom, right where your nail dips there. Okay, you're going to tap that spot right underneath there. We'll start at our pinky, and we'll move down to our thumb before we go to our karate point again. Okay, so those are the points that you will be using throughout the process. I am going to go through this one time. If you are feeling super anxious as you're doing this video and you go through it one time and you're like, nope, like it's still there, then as you're tapping the karate point at the very end, you may go through it again. Okay, maybe I will go through it twice, but you may go through it again until you take yourself, say you're on a scale of 1 to 10, and when your anxiety is just the worst, it's at an 8, okay? And you want to bring it down to at least a 2. You want to be able to feel it, okay? And as you're tapping, what it does is it's basically almost like massaging your medulla oblongata, okay? And it calms, okay? It will calm you. So I want you to practice this to get to that point, okay? So each week I'm going to give you new videos, new content to be able to access in order to be able to continue with this practice if this is something that works for you. As well as if you'd like to just have your own specific tapping routine, you can also make an appointment with me to have that done as well. But with that, let's get started, okay? So we are going to start with our karate point here. All right. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Now, you may say this out loud. You may say it in your head. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Okay, now we're going to move to the top of our head. Felt anxious. Eyebrow. Felt anxious. Corner of your eye. Felt anxious. Under the eye. Felt anxious. Under the nose. Felt anxious. Under the chin. Felt anxious. Move to our collarbone here. Felt anxious. Under the arm. Felt anxious. To the fingers. Felt anxious. Felt anxious. Felt anxious. Felt anxious. Felt anxious. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Take a deep breath, release. Okay. Now where are you at? If you are still feeling not quite there, okay, I'm going to go through this, one more time. If you feel like you've gotten what you wanted from this, then you may stop the video now. But if not, and you would like to go through this with me again, here we go. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Felt anxious. 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 Even though I felt anxious, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really hope that you got something out of this. And I really hope that it helped. Please let me know, connect with me, and I will see you back here next time. Bye, you guys.